While the world's eyes are fixed on China's futuristic skylines, bullet trains, and endless city lights, there's a story almost no one is telling. It's not about politics or even economics, at least not at first glance. It's about the land itself. Imagine a country where nearly 1 billion people are squeezed into one half, while the other half is a fortress of mountains, deserts, and silence. Where cities rise not just because of ambition, but because the ground beneath them leaves no other choice. Why do some Chinese cities look like science fiction, stacked in vertical layers, while others sprawl endlessly across river deltas? Why do some battle floods and typhoons, while others choke on dust storms or sink into the earth? Tonight, we're pulling back the curtain, not just on China's cities, but on the hidden geographic forces that make them possible, impossible, and above all, extreme. This isn't just a story about China. It's a glimpse into the future of cities everywhere as climate, population, and nature collide. Let's follow the money, the water, and the land, and uncover the 15 geography facts that explain why China's cities are so weirdly and so inevitably extreme. If you've ever wondered why China's urban landscapes feel like another planet, the answer isn't just in the blueprints or the policies, it's in the tectonic plates, the monsoon rains, the ancient rivers, and the relentless push and pull between people and nature. From the city carpets of the Pearl River Delta to the vertical labyrinths of Chongqing, every extreme you see is a direct response to a challenge written in stone, water, and wind. Let's decode the land and see how geography, not just ambition, has shaped the world's most radical urban experiment. Draw a line from the Russian border in the northeast to the jungles of Yunnan in the southwest. To the west, vast emptiness, mountains, deserts, and grasslands. To the east, nearly 1 billion people, packed into a third of the land. This super concentration isn't just a statistic. It's the reason cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Guangzhou are forced to grow upward and outward, stacking millions into vertical towers and endless suburbs. Why? Because the rest of the country is simply too hostile for mass settlement. Fact 2. 70% of China is mountains, plateaus, or hills. China's land is a fortress. Only about 30% is flat enough for easy building. The rest? Impenetrable mountains, high plateaus, and rugged hills. This means that when you find a patch of flat land, like the North China Plain or the Yangtze Delta, it becomes a magnet for urban growth, industry, and migration. The result? Cities that are denser, taller, and more crowded than almost anywhere else on Earth. Fact 3. The staircase from high west to low east. China's geography is a giant staircase dropping from the Tibetan Plateau, the roof of the world, down to the low-lying eastern plains. The west is high, dry, and forbidding. The east is low, wet, and buildable. This natural gradient pulls people, industry, and investment toward the coast, creating a gravitational force that shapes everything from migration to megacity formation. Fact 4. Megacity clusters, where flatland, water, and ports converge. Where geography allows, China's cities don't just grow, they merge. The Yangtze River Delta, for example, is home to over 240 million people and produces a quarter of China's GDP. Here, cities like Shanghai, Suzhou, and Hangzhou blend into one another, forming a city carpet that feels endless. It's not just urban planning, it's geography dictating where the future will be built. Fact 5. Deltas create city carpets on a global scale. The Pearl River Delta is one of the world's largest continuous urban regions. Flat, fertile, and threaded with rivers, it's a natural launch pad for urban sprawl. Cities like Guangzhou, Shenzhen, and Dongguan have grown together, creating a single urbanized zone that rivals entire countries in population and economic output. Fact 6. The East Asian monsoon, rain concentrated into intense seasons. Every summer, the monsoon delivers torrents of rain to eastern China. Cities must be built to survive sudden, overwhelming downpours. The solution? Oversized drainage systems, canals, flood tunnels, and the sponge city approach. Urban landscapes designed to absorb and channel water, not just shed it. Fact 7. Flood risk is a national-scale urban constraint.
China's weather agency has issued its highest-level rainstorm warning yet for the south of the country.
Despite centuries of river control, major floods remain a recurring, costly threat. Cities are forced to harden riverbanks, build higher, and rethink expansion. Flood risk isn't just a natural hazard, it's a constant, expensive negotiation with the land. Fact 8. Southeastern coastal cities face typhoons and storm surges. Cities like Shanghai, Fuzhou, and Guangzhou are built under the constant threat of typhoons and storm surges. The response: seawalls, elevated infrastructure, and emergency-ready urban design. Every year, the city must brace for the next big storm, a cycle of preparation, defense, and recovery. Fact 9. China is water poor per person, and water is unevenly distributed. China has less water per capita than many Middle Eastern countries, and what it does have is unevenly split. The north is dry, the south is wet. Big cities treat water as strategic infrastructure, with massive reservoirs, canals, and even water transfer megaprojects to keep the taps running. Fact 10. The South-North Water Transfer Project, engineering on a civilizational scale. To solve the North's chronic water shortages, China built the world's largest water transfer project: canals, tunnels, and aqueducts, moving water hundreds of miles from the Yangtze to Beijing and beyond. It's a city-scale solution to a continental-scale problem, one that's reshaping both the land and the cities that depend on it. Fact 11. Many major Chinese cities are literally sinking. Satellite studies show that large shares of urban land are subsiding, often due to groundwater extraction and the sheer weight of dense development. This raises flood risk and forces cities to invest in ever more elaborate coastal and river defenses. Fact 12. Deserts upwind make northern cities battle dust storms. The Gobi and Taklamakan deserts feed sandstorms that can darken skies for millions. Cities respond with shelter belts, green wall, windbreaks, and air sealing adaptations, an ongoing battle between nature and urban life. Fact 13. Basin geography creates air stagnation cities. Basins like the Sichuan Basin trap pollution, making air quality a daily battle. Urban design here means ventilation corridors, careful street layouts, and constant monitoring, a fight for every breath. Fact 14. China sits at the intersection of major seismic zones. Frequent earthquakes mean cities must design for seismic risk. Redevelopment cycles can be dramatic, as old districts are rebuilt to survive the next big one. Urban resilience isn't just a buzzword, it's a necessity. Fact 15. Some regions force 3D cities because the ground is hostile or steep. Southwest China's karst landscapes and extreme mountains mean cities like Chongqing are vertical, layered, and engineered in 3 dimensions. Here, urbanism is a feat of civil engineering, with roads, railways, and buildings stacked atop one another in a living, breathing maze. Fact 16. The karst labyrinths, China's stone forests and underground cities. In southern China, the land itself turns vertical. The South China karst is a world reference for tower, cone, and pinnacle karst, limestone sculpted by water into stone forests, natural bridges, and vast cave systems. Cities like Guilin and Shilin are built around, and sometimes inside, these surreal landscapes. Here, urban expansion means tunneling, bridging, and building in 3 dimensions as nature's architecture becomes part of the city's DNA. Fact 17. The Green Great Wall, fighting desertification with forests. Northern China's cities face a relentless enemy, the encroaching desert. In response, China has planted over 66 billion trees since 1978, creating the 3 North Shelter Belt, sometimes called the Green Great Wall. This vast forest belt is designed to block sandstorms, stabilize soil, and reclaim land for farming and settlement. It's a living infrastructure project, reshaping the climate and the future of cities on the desert's edge. Fact 18. The urban heat island, cities that create their own weather. China's megacities don't just adapt to the climate, they change it. Dense concrete, glass, and asphalt trap heat, creating urban heat islands where temperatures can be several degrees higher than the surrounding countryside. This amplifies energy demand, strains water supplies, and even alters local rainfall patterns. Cities like Beijing and Shanghai are now experimenting with green roofs, reflective surfaces, and urban forests to cool the concrete jungle. Fact 19. The Sponge City Revolution, turning floods into resources. With floods a constant threat, China is pioneering the Sponge City model, urban landscapes designed to absorb, store, and reuse rainwater. Permeable pavements, green roofs, wetlands, and underground reservoirs turn cities into living sponges, reducing flood risk and providing water for parks, cleaning, and even firefighting. It's a new paradigm for urban resilience, now being exported to cities worldwide. Fact 20. The ghost cities, urbanization outpacing demand. Not all of China's extreme cities are crowded. In some regions, entire new cities have risen almost overnight, complete with skyscrapers, highways, and shopping malls, but few residents. These so-called ghost cities are the result of rapid urbanization, speculative investment, and government planning. They're a stark reminder that geography isn't just about land and water, it's about timing, migration, and the unpredictable dance between people and place. So what does it all mean? China's weird cities aren't just the product of policy or ambition. They're the inevitable outcome of a land that demands extremes, of scale, of engineering, of adaptation. Every skyscraper, every flood tunnel, every city carpet is a response to a challenge written in stone, water, and wind. As climate change accelerates, China's urban experiments are a preview of the future, where cities everywhere will have to adapt, build higher, and engineer against nature's odds. The lessons of China's extreme cities are global. Geography is destiny, but adaptation is power. Which of these geographic forces surprised you most? What hidden stories shape your own city? Drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more investigations into the world's hidden economic and geographic forces.